Okay, good morning, Year 12. So today's lesson is on box plots and outliers, or kind of known as box and whisker diagrams. You'll have done these at GCSE, so they won't be a stranger to you. So box plots allow us to visually represent the distribution of the data. What that means is, a box plot shows the quartiles, maximum and minimum values, and any kind of outliers that are there. What I want you to kind of pause the video at any point that you need to make any notes or anything like that. I want you to recognise that this value at the top is the highest value that is not an outlier. This value here is the lowest value that's not an outlier. And then any outliers are shown with a little cross just here. So that's how we can kind of bring box plots and outliers together. Now, this box plot here is just kind of a generic box plot with no kind of real data in there. But box plots always should have a scale, and the scale should always be labelled, and your box plot should always have a title. So those two things are really, really important when you're drawing your box plots. Okay, so just moving on to the next thing, just to check that you kind of understand your box and whisker diagram. A couple of statements here that I want you to think about before we go through them. The right box represents more people than the left box. So that's saying this box represents more people than this box. And then the ages are more spread out above the median. So above the median, the ages are more spread out. Is that true or is that false? Give you a minute to think about it. Maybe write down a prediction. Pause the video if you need to. So let's have a look. The right box represents more people than the left box. That's actually false. Each box represents 25% of the people, so the same number of people. So even though it looks like is a bigger shape, it doesn't mean that there's more people involved. What it actually refers to is more about the spread of the data. So the wider the box or whisker, the more spread out the values are. So that second statement is actually true. So the ages are more spread out above the median, and that's why the box is larger. So if the second box is larger, then we'd say that it has a positive skew. So if the box above the median is larger, it had a positive skew. And if the box below the median was bigger, then it would have a negative skew. You don't really need to know those terms, but they will. I think they do come up later, so it's good to see them earlier on. Okay, so here's your first example. Now this is from the book, and it uses data from example number 1 as well. So the blood glucose levels of the females from example 1, which I have actually copied and pasted and put here, so we don't have to kind of turn back and forth. The first one just says, draw a box plot for the data on blood glucose levels of the females from example number 1. That's your part A. So if we're able to, hang on a sec, let me see if I can just scroll down. So the box plot for part A, this is for the females, you'll notice it has a title. There's your title, just females. Or you could be a bit more specific and say blood glucose levels for females. And then you've got the scale down here, and the scale is labelled with your units as well. Now, the working out that you did for example number 1 back then showed us that the only outlier was 1.7. So that's where this is here, 1.7. Your lowest value that was not an outlier was 2.2, so that's this bit here, and that's where 2.2 is in the data there. And then obviously you worked out the quartiles and everything in example number 1 as well, so you can just put that all onto a nice bit of data there. Now, if you don't have square paper, lined paper should work okay as long as you use a ruler. That's probably the best thing that I would suggest is using a centimetre for each section, or something like that, using 5 centimetres for one, or you just decide on your scale that you need to. I know not everyone will have square paper. So that's part A, that's your box plot for part A. Now, part B, if I scroll up again, gives you data for 30 males for their blood glucose levels. So you've got the lower quartile, upper quartile, median, lowest value and highest value. And then it also tells you about how to calculate any outliers. So that's what we're going to do for the second part. Firstly, we need to think about how to calculate those outliers to see if we do actually have any. So your interquartile range is 1.1. Therefore, an outlier would be your lower quartile, take away the 1.5 times the interquartile range, which is 1.95. So that's the lowest value that is not an outlier. And then you've got 4.7, add 1.5 times 1.1 equals 6.35. So that's the largest value that would be there. That wouldn't be an outlier. So the highest value recorded was actually 5.2. So there's not going to be any outliers above the highest value there. But you'll see that the lowest value recorded was 1.4, which is actually below 1.95. So 1.4 is the only outlier for the males. Because you see in the question here, given that there is only one outlier for the males, draw a box plot. So you've got one outlier, which is 1.4. Now, you don't actually know, therefore, what the lowest value now is, do you? Because your lowest value is actually an outlier. So what you have to use instead for your minimum value is 1.95. So if I show you that for the box plot on the same diagram as the one for the females, again, you've got titles on the left there, males and females, and you've got your scale down the bottom. Now this is your outlier for the males of 1.4, and then this bit here you'll see the end of the whisker is plotted as at the outlier boundary, so that was 1.95. And then you had everything else. That was the maximum value, which was, I think, was 5.2. Let me go up and see. Yeah, it was 5.2, your highest value there, and we didn't need to use the upper value because obviously there was nothing as high as 6.35, so that didn't actually matter. And as you can see, they're really good box plots for comparing data. You can see that the males, all that data is, much higher up than for the females, especially thinking about your kind of median there, which leads us on to part C of the example, which says compare the blood glucose levels for males and females. Now, whenever it asks you to compare this sort of thing, there are 2 points that you must think about. You must compare, number one, a measure of location and a measure of spread. So a measure of location, the best one to use is your median. You must compare the medians. That's the best one to use. When you compare a measure of spread, you could either choose the range or the interquartile range. Here we've done both because they both have the kind of same relationship. And you must always write an interpretation in the context of the question. So you must always use the wording of the question in your answer. So the median blood glucose for females is lower than the median blood glucose for males. There's your comparison of the measure of location. And then next, the interquartile range and range for blood glucose levels are smaller for females. So there's your measure of spread that you've compared as well. So you need one of each, and you need to write it in the context of the question. You can't just say the median is lower. You need to say what the actual median is of. Okay. Next thing I want you to do is go to exercise 3B on page 45 in your books. Now, there are only 4 questions here, which is really nice short exercise for you to do today. Of course, any questions, just ask me. I've done the exercise myself, so I know exactly what you need to do. And if you're stuck at any point, please don't sit there being stuck. Please email me. There is an exam question on this next page. So this is from May 2006, and it is a question about box plots. Now, what I would like you to do, I don't need a picture of the exercise. What I would like you to do is to have a go at this exam question. And I would like you to take a picture of this exam question, and I'd like you to send it to me exactly like you did last week. Now, I gave you till Sunday to do it, which I think, I think I'll do the same thing this week, is I'll give you till Sunday to do it, just because I know you're probably getting work from all over the place, and I just want you to be able to fit it in and give it a good go and not rush anything. So I'm going to give you till Sunday to do this, like I did last week. Make sure, please, that you send me a clear picture of your work, just so I can kind of mark it well myself and just see where you're at. Okay, remember, any questions, please email me, please comment, and I am here. Okay, have a lovely day.